We've been discussing what a franchise is, and this is an area where we've ran into a lot of confusion with people who are investigating franchises because there's terminology that gets used a lot that isn't necessarily always correct. It doesn't always help people understand some of the concepts related to the franchising industry. So we're going to talk about what a franchise is and also a business opportunity. Now, the Federal Trade Commission, who regulates franchising and what you would consider to be any other sort of a business opportunity, they're both regulated to protect people from fraudulent claims or misrepresentations by people who are selling opportunities. So we're going to start by talking about what a franchise is. There's three primary things that we're going to evaluate for you or help you understand. So it has to do with the way the business operations are established, the way that the brand is made available, and then also how the investment has been affected by those two different types of opportunities. So we'll start with a franchise with the operations side of it. Now, one of the ways you would know a franchise is that the operations part of it, they would have a prescribed operating business model that you would be getting when you invested in a franchise. So when a franchise agreement you would have, or a licensing agreement would allow you the rights to operate their predetermined operating system. They're also going to provide you with a certain level of training. The franchisor will provide you with a certain amount of training before you open your franchise. Depending on if it's a retail type of franchise, they might come on site and provide training for you on site, and then maybe provide some additional training on an ongoing basis, maybe over the course of the years that you're involved. They have a standard operating procedure that is generally a requirement that you follow, that there's a certain way they want you to do the business and conduct business, and that's going to be something that's usually required. They may have some areas that are just recommendations, but there are requirements that keep you in compliance with the operating agreement that you've entered into. In contrast, the business opportunity has some of the same things, but in a more relaxed manner. Like, for instance, with the operations of a business opportunity, they're going to provide you, the licensor will provide you with a product or service that you're going to be able to have. They're going to buy at wholesale price or resell. Could be a software that they make available to you that's proprietary. You sign a licensing agreement, it gives you the rights to use the software or possibly resell the software to other people. They're going to provide you generally with some training as well, because obviously the value that you might pay for the rights to operate a business opportunity are still going to come back to what am I going to get for my money, and they're going to need to provide value for you. So they're going to provide you with some training, teach you how to use the software, teach you how to sell the product or how to use the product. They may provide you with ways to sell the product even. And then they're going to give you general guidelines and recommendations for their business model and their business system, again, based on their proven methods that they've used in the past with their operating systems, and they're making that available to you. So the difference really is a franchise is going to have more of a standardized methodology, where the business opportunity might be a little bit more relaxed. You're not going to have things that are going to be dictated to you so much over here. You're going to have more leniency in the way that you operate your business. Now we move to the brand area here. If you think about it, part of what you're investing in with a franchise is the brand. The idea is the more established the brand, the better the reputation the company has, the more that's going to automatically attract customers. So just by being associated with a brand brings value to you as an investor in most cases. So what you're going to get with a franchise is you're going to get a logo, you're going to get that the franchisor is already going to have spent a lot of money protecting that brand by getting it trademarked, or if it's a service business, it would be a service mark. And they're going to have legal protection that they'll defend those marks on your behalf. If somebody else tries to operate a location or a store in your marketplace using that brand, The franchisor is going to go after those people with their legal team to defend those service marks, as they call them. And then there's also going to be a lot of uniformity in the brand, meaning when you go from location to location, they should feel very similar. The look and feel of the establishment should be very similar. Again, in a service business where there's no fixed location, there's still going to be maybe a truck that looks the same. There's going to be uniforms that the service people would wear potentially that look the same. They're going to have the same. They're going to have the same brand. They're going to have the same invoices and those types of things. So from location to location, every business unit and operation should look pretty much the same as the other one, whether it's in the same county, the same state, or somewhere else. And that's what gives customers confidence that they're dealing with a company that has a reputation already, and they have expectations of how that experience should be. Now, what makes a business opportunity different is that they may let you use the brand that they have, but they're not going to require you to do so. This gives people to have a little bit more independence if they want access to the product or the operating methodology. They still can create their own brand. You can call it whatever you want to. You can call it your existing business and just add that as a separate product or an extension of your existing services. And so you have the opportunity to create your own brand. You also have the ability or the need to create your own logo if you're going to do so. And then you have to develop your own marketing strategies and your own marketing methodology. Again, the business opportunity provider, the licensor, could provide you with marketing assistance, could provide you with certain documents or methodologies or advertising things that they've created. But again, it's not a requirement. Again, with a franchise, when you do your marketing, they're going to say, we have to approve the way that you use our logo, the colors that you use, what you're going to offer, so that it protects the integrity of the brand. Business opportunity, they're not so much. You're going to have more independence in the way that that happens. Now, the third area here has to do with the investment side of it. So what's the difference between a franchise and a business opportunity? Well, for the most part, these are generalizations, but for the most part, you're going to pay a little higher fee up front to get into a franchise, primarily because, again, there's an established brand. There's a lot of legal preparation that's gone in here to protect you as a franchisee, and also to design and to have the operating systems and the support that goes with it. You're also going to pay a franchise fee when you invest in the business, and then you'll have ongoing royalties that you'll most likely be paying out to the franchisor based on your gross sales or your revenue. There's going to be a percentage of sales that you'll pay back to the franchisor, again, for the ongoing rights to operate under their brand with their business model. And then you're also going to pay potentially a marketing fee. Now, that could be a national ad fee, they call it, or a regional ad fee. But they may charge you a fee that's mandatory for you to pay into to help pay for some of these other things that you'll have access to down the road. Now, with a business opportunity, you may pay a lower fee structure up front. Again, there's not quite as much that's going to come with that particular business opportunity as there would with a franchise. You're going to pay some sort of a licensing fee. It may not be called a franchise fee. It'll most likely be called a licensing fee or a licensing cost. And then there's no ongoing royalties typically that's going to be a part of a business opportunity. That's what makes them different. The ongoing relationship is different. The franchisor and the franchisees are going to have a continuous relationship that's going to go as long as the franchise agreements are in place. The business opportunity, you can stay involved as long as you want to, but there's not necessarily an ongoing relationship between you and the licensor. And then there's not necessarily going to be a marketing fee that you're going to pay into, although they may make available to you opportunities to pay to have some coaching or pay for extra training, but it's going to be separate from what you get with the license, where the franchisor is going to provide more assistance as part of their obligation to you for being a part of the system. The business opportunities would be optional. You're not required to take their training. You're not required to do some of those things. It may be something you have to pay for, just like any independent business would have to pay for coaching or pay for additional training. So that hopefully kind of explains the difference between the two of them. Again, they're both regulated. The franchises are regulated at a higher level. There's more disclosure requirements, which we'll get into in a future part of the course. And we'll break that down for you in more detail, but just so you'll know, terminology-wise, everything that somebody calls a franchise may or may not really be one based on the legal definition of it. And many things are business opportunities, which still have opportunities for people who typically may want to be more independent, and they may have a little more business background. The business opportunity might be more attractive to them, where a franchise would be for somebody who wants to have everything spelled out for them. It would be more of a turnkey, what is sometimes referred to as a business in a box, where you get everything that you need to start the business, turnkey, and everything's made available to you. So hopefully that makes things a little more clear for you.